All right, so let's get to this story. So Johnny Bananas appeared on this new show that is called Pop the Balloon or Find Love, which y'all know was a big hit over on YouTube. I used to see a lot of the clips and stuff popping up on like social media, like Meta had a lot of the clips and stuff about popping a balloon. First of all, I didn't like this concept. I think the concept is stupid. I would see like a lot of times when you would have somebody looking for love and they would have like a whole group of people up on the side and then they would pop the balloon or whatever, be like why they don't like a certain person. Like they did one on this woman, and this is why I don't like it. They did one on this woman that they thought was transgender, and she wasn't. She was a cisgendered biological woman. She was tall, she had a deep voice, she had a good job and everything. But the fact of the matter was, because she had this deep voice, whatever, and he was like, oh, I can't, if I gotta talk to you on the phone, I'm gonna talk to a man. So yeah, I can't get with you. And this the overall shallowness of it. And you know what this, and I think also the reason why I don't particularly care for it, because it reminds me of this show that we used to get back on in the day on MTV. Remember Next? The gay episodes was always iconic, and I used to cackle watching those episodes. But for the most part, that's what this show reminds me of. But all shows are cyclical. Somebody will come up with the same concept, but just add their little, sazon on it, and then it becomes something different. So Johnny Bananas, who y'all know is from The Challenge, and will literally show up at a damn envelope opening at this point in his career, because how many more seasons of The Challenge can he possibly do? He's being dragged over something that he said that people are deeming racist. So, yeah. So, but actually, if y'all care, it is on Netflix. But I should probably let y'all know. So, and Yvonne Orji, who you know is from Insecure, is the host of the show. So during the first episode of Pop the Balloon, Bananas of the Challenge fame was interacting with the women looking to find love on the show. So the show's host, Yvonne Orji, then asked him which of the women would have been his type. So then he made a comment because, apparently he's into feet. And he made a comment that some people deem racist. Now, I do have the clip. So we're going to play it. Shout out to YouTube. I mean, not YouTube. Shout out to Twitter and Glock Topics, who had the clip. We're going to play it, and then we're going to come back and talk. Please hold. Yes or no answer, Johnny, because we can... Yes, Johnny, be so for real.
The best opportunity to make it work by what? Coming out with my plan?
All right.
Yeah,
all right,
I think I did.
Johnny, I'm going to ask you one last question. I'll send you on your way. Who on the stage would have been your type? Like, for real.
I mean, we start with the toes. Let's see.
Oh, thank
You
God.
got really pretty toes.
Oh, me?
You've got really pretty toes. You look like you sleep from a tree upside down.
Me? Oh, you don't want to smoke me, Johnny. These toes don't help you build a home. You know what?
You need good toes to build a home.
You know
need
what?
strong hands and good toes.
Yes or no answer, Johnny.
So yeah, I don't know if y'all heard it because based off of the audio and all the other stuff, but he literally said that because he was talking about the girl's toes, he did say that you need good toes to build a home, and one of them looked like they hang from a tree upside down. So of course, when you hear that, people are equating that you trying to refer to a black woman as a monkey. But the funny thing is, he said you have pretty toes, and then when he got to the third girl, which is what he said, that people took what he said out of context, and that's what he was talking about. He was talking about the third girl, which if you actually look at her dress, it did look like she had some bananas on all over that dress. So it did give a little monkey tease. And I'm talking about the white girl, because that was the third girl that was on that line. And he was talking about the toes. And he actually pointed it out because he has the picture. Where is it? Because I have that picture also. And yeah, so he was, let me take out the banner so that way y'all can see it. Oh, actually, I didn't flip it over to the other thing. Hold on. So, yeah. So he said it was this picture. And if you look at the circle, that you can see that he was referring to her in that whole situation. So people took to social media and slammed him over what he said. Now, one person said, this is racism ASF. At Netflix to sit here and copy a show that isn't even yours, then allow this facially challenged white man to say that to her is absurd. What is wrong with y'all? Well, for you to say that they copied a show that isn't even yours, that's not true, because the people who are behind the show, which is Arlette Amuli and Bolia Matundu, and there are a couple. The show moved to Netflix. So I don't know if maybe they get I don't know. I haven't seen the show, so I don't know if they get a created by a producer credit, whatever the case is. So I'm thinking that it's an extension of their show that just moved over to Netflix. That's what I'm assuming. But if it's not, then I guess your comment is valid. And then they did kind of copy their show. The second person, Curse Bananas, saying, so how many times does he have to be racist before they cut ties with this ill midget bitch? Well, first of all, how tall is Johnny Bananas? Let me look that up, because y'all calling him a midget. American TV personality. Oh, he's 5'10". He ain't short. What are you talking about? So, yeah, and he's 42 years old. He was born in 1982, June 22nd. And he's 5'10". 5'10" is not short. I mean, it ain't 6'4", but he's not short. Sure would be Tom Cruise. That'd be like 5'7". Sure would be Tom Holland. Now, one fan wrote, he also called Taylor Hale a monkey on here like 2 months ago. Like, seriously, how many strikes does he need before enough is enough? Now, I do have a follow-up on that whole Taylor Hale thing. Because I was like, who the hell is Taylor Hale? Apparently, she was on Big Brother 24, and she won that season. So, yeah, people are saying that she calls her a monkey. Now, I do have that information because we're going to get to that, but let's go through this first. Now, one person noted, they said sometimes commentators can say things like that without much intent. I hope she didn't take it personally. Meanwhile, another Twitter user added, cancel the show. Well, the only way they'll cancel it, and this Netflix, because you know how funny they are. This is why I don't 110% fall behind Netflix, because every time I like a show over there, we don't never necessarily know what their numbers are. They dump all their episodes all at once, and then they're surprised that after the weekend is over, because that's usually how long it take people to watch their seasons. It'd be, if you ain't got nothing going on, you can sit there and marathon watch it the whole day, or it may take you 2 days or 3 days. And then they shocked that next week their shows aren't on nobody's radar. I'm like, yeah, because you drop all the episodes at once. Y'all really think that concept is a great idea, which when you look at other streaming services, when they drop things week to week, it works that way. Now, me personally, I like to let things build up so I can binge watch. I don't personally like the whole week to week thing. That's what I've been doing with The Last of Us. I started rewatching season 1, and then also, before I get to season 2, because I know the second season aired last night. And then with Daredevil Born Again, their final episode airs, I believe, tomorrow, and I'm like 3 episodes behind. So I'm gonna just binge all those all the way through. So I'm a binger. Like, it don't bother me, but everybody else is just like, yeah, we all know, like, the numbers show that when you release something week to week, the numbers pretty much go up. So, it still remains on people's radar. So now the Bananas did respond to what the backlash is, and said that he wasn't referring to the black woman when he made the comment, because I showed y'all the picture of the whole circled foot thing of the other girl. So he said, hey morons, I was actually talking about the white girl whose toes were hanging over her shoes, who was literally dressed like a fucking tree. He also said, it's wild how fast some people can twist a moment into a false narrative. Now he also concluded there's real racism out there. Weaponizing fake outrage for clicks cheapens it. And that is something, whether I'm going to take him on his word in this whole situation. Bananas, don't get me wrong, has said some problematic things in the past, and he's been called out over some of the stuff that he does over there on The Challenge. Not fully, but there have been times where he's done some crazy things where he's been called out. And I think it was they looked the other way because he was like their biggest superstar over there on that show. And reality TV has their own bearings and stuff. We're going to get into that when I get to the Patrick McDonald interview with Bethany Frankel later on in the show. But how messy it is behind the scenes and all that other stuff. But there was another thing from the Taylor Hale thing, because I want to show y'all that post that came out, they said, a couple of months ago. So yeah, she wrote that yellow fruit man pinned a tweet to his profile at 8 a.m. saying that he was looking for engagement. And by 3 p.m., you all gave him exactly what he asked for. I don't want to hear a single word if he somehow pops up on every show in the conversation. Well, Johnny Bananas is always on every damn show. So yeah, there you see it there. He got the monkey emoji, and then there's a gorilla, which some people are like, oh, Johnny out here being racist. But here's what he said on that. They said that, yeah, but they said that this was from, he clarified that Step Up Social, because that's, I guess, where it was. They said a marketing agency promoting a cryptocurrency project posted the tweet without his consent. So in a chat with Variety, he said, I do not take this situation lightly, adding that he contacted Hale immediately to explain. Now, meanwhile, Hale stated she didn't believe the tweet was intentionally racist, but was disturbed by the racist messages she received from some fans afterward. She also expressed disappointment in the delayed public response. Well, that's always going to be the case, because it's like, yeah, now let's entertain the idea of what if he did say it about that black girl. I don't think, a lot of times, and I tell you this when it comes to white folks, and this is not to excuse the behavior, but white people have something called racial blind spots. I think a lot of times they say stuff. Now, there's something that y'all are deliberate racist. And I can always tell when it comes to that, like, okay, bitch, you being deliberate. Kind of like what I said about Mickey Rourke when he when he was over on Celebrity Big Brother, and he's, making the comments towards JoJo Siwa, who was a lesbian. And very proudly so, and screams it from the rooftops to everybody who will listen. And so I can guarantee you, after I'm done with you, you ain't gonna be a gay no more. And she said, I guarantee you, I'm still be in a loving relationship with my girlfriend, who's non-binary, but her girlfriend. And you making them comments thinking that because you're a man that you're gonna be able to convert her to some dick. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. So yeah, when you say something like that, then that's a deliberate. And not only that, when he goes and makes a comment about lighting a fag, which we all know in England is what they call cigarettes. However, a lot of people aren't privy to a lot of the British slang, and we know at your big age of 72 what your intention was behind using that word towards a girl who's clearly an out and proud lesbian, and you trying to just be homophobic and messy. So that's deliberate. But with Johnny Bananas, it was like if they went and put that stuff in there, I was like, at your big age, you should know what racism looks like and the old stuff, especially when you've been on so many reality shows and you've been around so many damn races, particularly when you've done a lot of shows, House of Villains, you've done Worst Cooks in America, I believe. Like every other show, reality competition show that has been invented, I'm sure Johnny Bananas has been on it. Like he knows how to stretch, he's known how to stretch his 15 minutes for 20 years. He also said that he denounced the tweet and considered legal action against the agency. Now, Step Up Social also apologized, acknowledging the post was inappropriate despite the emoji's usage in crypto marketing. Well, if that's what is used in crypto marketing, it's not something you should have posted for him on, going towards the black girl. Because, yeah, that is fighting words. What people need to realize, when you equate black people with monkeys, that's racist. Those are fighting words. You got to be careful with a lot of that stuff out here. But like I said, when you don't have enough people of color working in your businesses, when you're not surrounding yourself with different races and ethnicities, or people with ethnic backgrounds, whatever the case is, white people are always going to have a little racial blind spots. And so, Johnny, you need to be careful what you're saying out here with certain people. So I hope that you wasn't that wasn't geared toward that black girl, because if it was, we definitely gonna be out here windmilling on your behind. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you believe that that was intended for that black girl? Or do you think that he was saying what he said when he was going after that girl, the white girl, which when I looked at her outfit, it did kind of look like, when you look at the black girl, first of all, them shoes she had on was ugly. They looked like high heel shoes with fur on the top. Those are ugly. But it looked like she had on like a t-shirt dress. Whereas the white girl that he was talking about, she literally had like, her dress was yellow and black. It looked like it was like mangoes or leaves or bananas. Like it kind of fit in that whole jungle type of look. And then he talked about her feet. And then he mentioned two of the girls before he got to the third. And that's the third girl got the read. So he couldn't have been talking about the black girl, because if he would have been like, you got pretty feet, you the one that looked like you got feet, you've been hanging from a tree. She wasn't the third girl. She was the second girl. The black girl was the second girl. The white girl was the third girl. So clearly he wasn't talking about her. But I guess because of the way that he was pointing or looking or whatever, you already know, like, shady camera people or whatever are going to pull a narrative where they want to be able to take things out of context, and they want to actually, this stuff is for ratings. So there's always intent behind a lot of what these shady people do. So I definitely want to hear from y'all, and let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. All right, let's see what the people are saying in the comments.